Hey everybody, it is Mike doing a different kind of video today. I was tagged a while back by my friend Mike, Vampire Mike, over at Sega CD Universe, and he was kind enough to tag me in kind of a fun little activity. I love getting tagged, I just never get tagged too often, so I am going to go ahead and walk through these various movies. And basically, this one was you pick your favorite movie out of each genre that was listed. Um, some of these genres it was kind of hard for me because I don't necessarily watch a lot of these kind of movies. So I had to go back to my childhood and my babyhood to remember some of these. But yeah, it was kind of a fun little activity. Kind of shakes your brain a little bit. Um, the first genre is horror. I love all kinds of horror. Um, it could have been The Fog. It could have been I don't know, Friday the 13th Part 4, Part 6, or Halloween 2, Halloween 3. I mean, I love so many of them. But I decided just to go for one that kind of started it for me. The very first horror movie I ever saw as a kid that I remember is The Birds. I love The Birds. The very first slasher movie I remember seeing on cable was My Bloody Valentine. So I'm going to go with My Bloody Valentine just for that reason. I love the original. I love the remake. I can watch them anytime, and I do. I watch them at least a couple times a year because I do enjoy those movies. But it could have been. There's a million of them, but I'm just going to say My Bloody Valentine because my head started to hurt after a while. All right, the next one was animation. I am not a huge animation fan, even as a kid. Other than Scooby Doo and maybe the Jetsons and the Flintstones, I was not the biggest cartoon kid. Um, so like kids my age, when people my age when they were kids, they always had Saturday morning cartoons. I was more interested in going outside than watching Saturday morning cartoons, but I did like a few, and I do like a few of the Disneys and the Pixars and all of those. But I think the one that I enjoy the most, for the most part, is Ants. I just thought that one was hilarious. Uh, Action, that was another kind of hard one for me. I like a lot of the action movies that are, you know, out there. Um, there's a bunch of them. So basically, I went for Speed with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock because I love that movie. Dennis Hopper was completely crazy in that one, and it was so much fun. Jeff Jeff, oh, his name just flew right out of my head. Been in a million things. He was Keanu's buddy in that movie, kind of the sarcastic, pessimistic partner. But yeah, I still love that movie. I still get all hyped up after I watched it. Um, as far as comedies go, I do not like the physical, slapsticky kind of comedy that you get from Jim Carrey. I could never stand Pauly Shore. I didn't like, and I hate to say this, but John Candy, people like that, it just was not my thing. Um, is it John Candy? John Candy was okay. I mean, I liked him in some things. Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. Chris Farley is the one I was thinking of. They're just too much. I can't. Even Adam Sandler and that group of kind of lazy comedies, um, not my thing. But I did and do love The Birdcage, and actually several of Robin Williams' movies. Mrs. Doubtfire was hilarious. Several things that he has done. But yeah, I'm not the biggest in the comedies. I like romantic comedies, um, and I think Romance is one of them that's on. Yes. So yeah, I'm just not a big comedy person. As far as sci-fi, once again, not my biggest um, favorite. I mean, I like it, I guess, but pretty much Aliens is my favorite sci-fi movie. I like all the first Alien. I like some of the Predators, those sort of things. I like those, but mm, not my biggest not my biggest genre. Another one, the next one was, where am I at? Westerns. Uh, the one movie I remember my dad absolutely loving, and I remember watching it with him. We owned a tavern. Our house was on top of the tavern, but I remember um, Dad loved the movie, and I still remember this movie because it had John Wayne, it had Jimmy Stewart, it had a lot of the big names in it from that era, and that was The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. I do not own that one. I don't own any westerns that I know of that are like the past westerns. I think I have a Young Guns in my collection somewhere. But yeah, I remember liking that movie, and I remember even after my dad passed away, watching it on TV when it was on. So that would be one I would probably like to add to my collection. As far as comic books that were turned into movies, once again, not my thing. Um, I have enjoyed some of them. Like I think Shazam was that a comic book? I don't know. But like Spider-Man, Superman, all those. I mean, I've watched lots of those, but the one that I remember the most um, is Dick Tracy. I remember going to the theater and seeing that. It had, can't remember, I know Madonna was in it. Um, who's the guy? Oh, terrible. But yeah, I like Dick Tracy, but I like some of the Spider-Man movies. I like some of the Superman movies. Um, Venom. There's quite a few out there that are pretty good, but the one that sticks with me the most is Dick Tracy. So I'll go with that. All right, romance. I do like romantic comedies. I know that they're fluff and cheesy and chick flicks, but I don't care. I like them. So I think my very favorite, and of course it's a Sandra Bullock movie because pretty much everything she did was kind of romantic comedies. But While You Were Sleeping holds a special place in my heart because that movie came out the summer that my mom died. And I remember going to see that movie with my sister in Pennsylvania and her husband. And everything about that year that my mom died, I remember. I wish I could forget a lot of it, but it's all with me. So While You Were Sleeping, I remember loving that movie, going to see that with my sister in Pennsylvania. Also, I went and saw Clueless that same year. I love that movie. Um, yeah. So While You Were Sleeping is my favorite romantic comedy movie, but there's plenty of others that I like. Um, and pretty close tie to that is probably Circle of Friends, because that movie was my mom's favorite book by Maeve Benchney, so I enjoyed that one. All right, next, adventure. Oh God, how do you pick from this? This is, well, there's so many. So I don't know if like I kind of consider a lot of the natural disaster movies as kind of horror-ish, but really most of them are action and adventure, and I love so many of those. Twister, Poseidon Adventure, Poseidon, um, Earthquake, any of those, but probably my very favorite is Dante's Peak. I love that movie. I love Linda Hamilton in it. I love Pierce Brosnan in it. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Dante's Peak, but Twister is right up there. Um, Deep Impact, I love that movie. There's just way too many. I even like some of the Rocks movies. Um, San Andreas, I thought that was fun. I just like having fun with my action. Oh, and Eraser. Do you remember that one with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Vanessa Williams? I like that one too, but Dante's Peak I'm gonna leave right there. Drama. not the biggest drama person. Once again, Robin Williams kind of popped in my head with Dead Poet Society. I love that movie. But the one drama that sticks with me, mainly because I went and saw it with my friend who later died from AIDS, is Philadelphia. I thought Tom Hanks was amazing in it. I thought Denzel Washington was amazing in it. It was very difficult to go into a movie with my friend who was HIV positive at the time, um, and watch this movie about this guy with HIV who eventually gets AIDS and dies. But I'll always remember being in that theater with him. He wanted me to go. We used to go to concerts and movies all the time. So I went, and oh my God, it was, to this day, makes me cry when I think about it. It was just so hard to be in a theater watching basically my friend's future, because back then there was no cure. He was right on the cusp, and he right when they right after he passed away is when they started the cocktails. He was on a cocktail of prescription or drugs at one point that helped him, but it didn't save him. So yeah, Philadelphia is probably one of my favorite dramas because it makes me think of Lon. He was a good kid and he didn't stand a chance. You know, he got infected before he even knew what it was. Before he was just he was my college roommate basically. I didn't know him until we ended up being college roommates. And yeah, he was so funny. Pain in my ass, but I loved him. All right, and then he added the documentary category, and for me, it would be Joan Rivers' Piece of Work. There are a lot out there that are good and that I like, but Joan Rivers is always pretty important to me, pretty special. So that is all of the list, and I really don't have any to add, but I would like to tag a few of you to do this, just for grins. I would love it if Jennifer Tochi would do this list, and I'll put the whole list in the comments below. Um, Horror Freak 85, Stephen, I want you to do this. How about the Horror Man 82? Matt, maybe you can do this as well. And yeah, that'll do for right now anyway. But if you want to do it, please do it. Just let me know that you're doing it so I can watch yours. All right, guys, thanks and have a great one. Bye.